Hello, Harsh. Hi, Maitri. How are you?
We are fine.
So, hope you enjoy today. So, my name is Ita. I'm hosting this event today. So, I hope you have a great time today.
Yeah, sure.
So, if you want to invite your friends or family, you can just invite them with the link you have.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. From which college you are?
I am from ITM SLS Baroda University.
Oh, great. So, I hope we are able to serve you a value. Or if you have any questions for us, do let us know. I'll here to answer them.
एक्चुअली मुझे ना सीवी लाइक रिज्यूम अभी स्टार्टिंग है तो कैसे बनाना है वो पता नहीं चल रहा है लाइक
सॉरी मैत्री आपकी आवाज कट हो गई थी बताओ मेरे को
हाँ वो एक्चुअली अभी स्टार्ट कॉलेज की अभी लास्ट ईयर है तो अभी हमें पता नहीं चल रहा है कि रेज्यूम कैसे बनाना है क्या क्या पॉइंट्स उसमें इंक्लूड होने चाहिए लाइक इसीलिए
या सो मैत्री आज हम यही डिस्कस करेंगे सो वी आल्सो हैव अ टेम्पलेट जो रिज्यूमे के होते हैं व्हिच इज 8 years फ्रेंडली so if I as a MyWays we have a many templates of resume which is already there तो हम वो ज्वाइन कर लेंगे एंड वी विल लाइक ज्वाइन दैट ठीक है वो हम आपके साथ शेयर कर देंगे प्लीज आप फीडबैक फॉर्म भर देना अपने रजिस्ट्रेशन में अपनी ईमेल आईडी तो दी होगी तो वी विल सेंड यू ओवर देयर आपके व्हाट्सएप पे या ईमेल पे सो दैट यू कैन एक्सेस टू इट
ओके थैंक यू
या एंड हमने रिज्यूम बिल्डिंग पे धैर्य की वर्कशॉप भी करवाई थी एंड वी हैव आल्सो डिड अ कपल ऑफ वर्कशॉप अराउंड द सेम सो वी विल send you the recording if you want.
ओके
I
थैंक यू
hope this serves your answer.
या
Great. So, any other questions for us? So, I'm just open to all the audience. Let's have some chit chat. Anyone else have any questions around your career, around your life? We can just like do a chit chat unless all people are joining. You join early, so let's have a chit chat. Let's don't waste this time. You can just unmute and ask anyone. So, guys, let me know which college you are from and what are you expecting today. So, are you in final year or in pre-final year? Like, be very comfortable. We are just talking till our mentor, and maybe we are able to help you. So, just feel free to. And this is basically the confidence which we are like talking with me is also the part of your technical resume or hiring process. So, just feel free to. Say or with me. Just let me know. Anyone, you can even type in your chat section if you're not able to on your mic. I'm just eagerly waiting to hear from you guys. Just let me know. Am I audible to everyone? Hello. Just let me know. Is there any problem in my voice?
No, you're audible.
Oh, hi. What's your name?
Muhammad.
Hi, Mohammed. How are you?
I'm good.
So, in which college you are from?
So I'm from JSS Academy of Technical Education, Bangalore.
Oh, you are from Bangalore. How's the weather there?
It's cold.
Oh, great. So, in which year you are?
So I recently completed third year. So I'm ready to join my final year.
Okay, your third year. Nice.
Yeah.
So, do you have any questions for MyWays? You know about MyWays?
Question.
Any questions for MyWays, or do you want any guidance in any field? So you can just let me know.
So I'm from mechanical engineering.
Okay.
So if I want to get a job in IT,
yeah.
so what should I have to learn?
Okay, so basically, Muhammad, understand this thing that being in mechanical engineering, it does not stop you for any IT sector thing. So even if you are in mechanical engineering, you can crack the IT job. Suppose even if you are interested in coding and you are a self learner, so you can just learn the code. You can also be in the MyWays to do that. We can help you in doing that. So you just need to self-learn, increase your coding skills, research about it over the internet, attend these seminars. So after that, once you achieve that code stage where your basics, your DSAs are okay and your coding languages are okay, once you achieve that basic thing, you can just give our hiring test, or you can give just company's hiring test, and they can actually get you into your IT job. So being a mechanical, it does not stop you from getting job in IT, because I myself, I have many friends and I have seen many students who actually crack IT jobs from being mechanical. So your stream does not stop you from being into IT. So if you need any help to give there, just let us know. You can write us, we can guide you and help you in your career trajectory. So any other questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you. So if you want like basic, you just need to do a basic research, focus on self-study, give hiring test. You can give our hiring test also. Like we have an initiative called My Group. I'll talk to it in the like after the session. So basically, we hire for the companies, basic IT companies, where we just give student have to give the hiring test, and we will place them in a good IT role. So basically, we did not required any we did not required any background from the IT industry, but you can do that. Any other question, Mohammed?
No, thank you.
And all the best for your IT.
Thank you very much.
Great. Any other, like you can just unmute yourself and talk to me. It's very okay. And then we will start in some time. Anyone else? So I can call up a name if you want. So we can just have a talk like Mohammed, Maitri. You can also have a talk with us and let me know. Is someone any speaking?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you. My question is that how can we present ourselves in interview? I mean,
Okay, so basically, this masterclass is all about the interview, how to ace person. But if you're asking, like, I will give you a brief. We will discuss it over the entire masterclass. But yeah, I can give you a brief. So basically, being confident, being presentable is the soft skill which can contribute to your interview. Like even if you are confused, you need to be seems to be confident to the person who is standing as an examiner to you, so or an interviewer to you. So you just like carry your confidence, carry yourself with the confidence, be presentable, go prepare for, and most important thing, research for a company. Like if you are going to give some interview, you should research about the company. Like if they're asking like what my startup is doing, yeah, what our company is doing, so have a solid background research and just like be presentable and confident, and you can crack an interview.
okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other questions? I hope I am able to answer, and I hope you stay till end to know more hacks about it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, so do you know about MyWays?
Sorry, ma'am.
So do you know about MyWays?
Ma'am, I can't hear you properly. Just.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So I was just saying that, do you know about MyWays? Okay, I'll just introduce it like in a bit when session starts.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Sunil Kumar.
Hi Sunil. So we will take your query quick, and then I'll talk you after. I think our mentor is also here today. So I will take your query first, and then we will take all the other queries at the last of session. We will have a chit chat at the last of the session. Okay. Yes, Sunil.
Okay, ma'am. You said that you have to in order to be in any interview. If you are to give any interview, then you must have confidence. My question is how to gain that confidence. From where we can get that confidence to give our interview in a better way.
Okay. So basically, that confidence is something which you have to work on yourself. When people say that you have to work on yourself, you actually have to work on that confidence. Like when you give, so if you know that you have practiced a lot, you know that you have cracked. So which background you are from?
Ma'am, I'm here from IIT BHU. I'm doing PhD from there.
Okay, you have it. So you know that the whole year, the whole 2 years, you have spent a lot of time. You have spent your mind, your energy on something, and you know that you have a knowledge of that thing. So just look at yourself in the mirror and see that how do you present yourself. And if you know about just think about the time you have spent, the practice you have done, and you will gain that confidence, and you have to work on that. So just be calm and say that yes, if there is some problem, I can solve it. So that part is very necessary. So I hope I answer your question. So I think we start.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you after the session over. I think our mentor is here. So we have to
Okay, ma'am.
start the session and then we will continue. So just a minute. Hello, everyone. So we are starting our session live, officially starting our session. So I would like to welcome Mr. Samarth, who come for us with after having so much of the problems and like hiccups during the. So we are very thankful for your time which you give to us, sir, and we are very thankful that you come to teach our students today, and it's like it means a lot to us. So first I would like to invite thank you for that. So just give me a 2-3 minutes. I'll just give brief introduction about MyWays and about you, and then stage is all yours. So hello, welcome everyone. I'm very happy that you joined in today. So I give you a quick introduction about MyWays. So we are career accelerated platform where we help students to actually grow and help them to make them employable and place them with a good company. So we actually focus at making you experience fresher. It's our tagline also, like become experience fresher with us. So we actually are in the tech. We are in the helping the tech students from a quite lot time, and we have various initiatives. Like our most recent initiative is My Gurukul initiative, where we provide a free placement to any tech student from any background with a good industries. Our hiring partners are like Paytm, Fleetx, and some of the MNCs also. I will talk about My Gurukul at the end in the detail, because we can just quickly start the session. And so I hope you all stay till end, and I hope that we are able to deliver value to you today. So now I would like to introduce our speaker of the day. So our mentor, Mr. Samarth Mehta, he is like he's a member of LinkedIn Indian Creators India program, and he is also like being the industry expert from last quite some time, very long time. He has his own journey. He see various interviews, and it's our honor to host him today. So, sir, I'll not take your much time, and stage is yours now. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that introduction. Just to put it out again to everyone, right? My name is Samarth. I have done my MBA from IIM Kozhikode, and before my MBA, I had done my undergraduation in BCA. It's a technical degree, and basically for those people who can't get into engineering. So I think majority of you would be knowing what BCA is and what happens in that degree, right? So I had a very technical background in terms of my undergrad, and straight after that I went on to join IIMK for my MBA, right? Now, essentially, in terms of what my journey has been, what I have done, so I moved from data science, data analytics, etc., that I was doing in my undergrad to management and management consulting and all of that post my MBA. So broadly speaking, I wouldn't want to talk more about myself right now. I would want to talk more in terms of how I can help you guys, how I can be value to you, and how this session can be of more value to you. So essentially in this session, what we are trying to cover is that how can you ace interviews better? How can you be better prepared for interviews? How can you avoid, underconfidence and all of that for the interview process? And at the end, like in the last 5-10 minutes of whatever is remaining, I would, like to take questions and solve as many doubts as I can, given the time, permissible time that we have, right? Now, in between all of this, if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any queries, I would recommend that you guys please put in those queries, put in those questions on the chat, and I would like to take them as and when I move through the process. Pretty simple, don't want to do anything fancy, and yeah, that's about it, right? So essentially, I think majority of us who are here, including you, including me, all of you guys would have faced one thing when you would be giving your interviews, is that you are underconfident, you did not answer a question properly, you could not talk properly, you could not meet the expectations of the interviewer. Basically, you were not, out there, right? Now, this could be because of a lot of reasons. Your English isn't great, your speaking skills aren't great, you don't have subject matter expertise, right? So a host of factors, resulting underperformance in an interview, right? Now, essentially, each problem has to be tackled in a very different fashion. So when I was in college, or when I was about to start college, I barely could talk in English, right? Like I couldn't even speak 2 sentences or 2 complete sentences in English. I was that bad. So the journey has been from there to where I am right now, right? And just to give you guys a simple example, after finishing my undergrad in BCA from extremely random colleges, I had gotten job offers from Uber, from DE Shop, in the tech side of things. So it's been a gradual journey, right? Now, in terms of, first of all, if I have to purely talk about interview or interview preparation from the interview hygiene standpoint, right? I will highly, highly, highly recommend you guys to, either join your college debate society, or basically join any Toastmasters club that might be present in your city. But you need to put yourself out to all the exposure that you can get with regards to public speaking, right? And so the reason why today I'm not going to show you any PPT or any document is that I want to keep this conversation extremely raw and extremely relatable as possible, because majority of these sessions have speakers come in and they just show up a PPT or a random document, and the students are utterly confused. They're like, what just happened, right? So I want this to be as raw as possible, and through this session I also will share my personal journey as to how I improved my speaking skills, my interview skills, right? So the first thing is basically to expose yourself as much as possible to public speaking. It could be through joining a debate society, it could be through joining any regional or local Toastmasters club, or it could be joining any other public speaking body that might be there in your city or locality, right? What this does is, even though in the beginning you might be very shy, you might be very underconfident in terms of talking, the more you attend these sessions, the more you go to these places, you will realize the true potential that they have, and this will only help you improve your speaking skill. So that's the first part. Second, essentially, or the second part is that you have to start reading. What I mean by reading is, you can basically start reading or start consuming content through LinkedIn, through Quora, through Twitter, through YouTube, right? So what happens over here is, the more content that you read, right, your knowledge improves. So I am not asking you guys over here to, sit down and read tons and tons of books or read tons and tons of journals. That's boring. Like, that's absolutely boring. I would rather recommend you guys to read about tech stuff on Twitter. There is a lot of stuff related to technology and development in technology on Twitter. LinkedIn, insane stuff that is there with regards to tech on LinkedIn. There are a lot of tech platforms as well, like GitLabs, where you'll find a lot of documentation structures with regards to technology. So that's the second thing that I would highly recommend you guys to do. Now, there are 2-3 things that will happen out of this, right? First thing that will essentially happen is that your technical knowledge is obviously increasing because you are consuming, if I may say so, more information with regards to tech, which is away from your course. Like obviously in college, you will be learning about, object-oriented programming, DSA, RSA, algorithms, search algorithms, etc., etc. Now that is the textual or the textbooky stuff that is there. When you are sitting for an interview, right, or when you're sitting for a tech interview, what they focus more on is basically your knowledge, and not just knowledge that you have gotten out of textbooks, but your problem solving abilities. What I mean by problem solving abilities is basically that they will give you a logical puzzle, or they might just give you a logical problem, and they will put it out to you asking you that, hey, this is the problem, how would you get a solution to this? Like, what is the logical approach that you will take to get to a solution to this problem? Now, that might not be related to tech, that might not be related to programming, coding in any which way. What they are trying to check, or what they are trying to evaluate you over here, is what is the logical approach that you take, what is the structured problem solving approach that you take. Now, this is something that no textbook will teach you. For this, you will probably have to solve more coding challenges, take part in more competitive coding competitions, try building pet projects, because this will just give you that overall, exposure in terms of how tech problems are solved. Another good way to improve your technical knowledge is also to read about case studies, right? Now, I don't know how many of you know this or not, but YouTube was a product that Google never focused on. Google always provides an opportunity to its employees wherein throughout the week they are given some time that they can use to basically solve problems, or take up personal projects or pet projects. So the way YouTube came to life was, there was this one employee who actually took out time from his busy work schedule and was working on YouTube as a personal project, which then grew on to become what it is today. So reading about these text case studies, right, on how these big corporates or these big companies, how they try to solve such small problems. Okay, another very interesting technical problem that you guys might want to look at is, okay, first of all, how many of you know what Google Maps is? A yes in the chat or a raise of thumbs will be great. Okay. So my next question to you guys is, how does Google Maps earn money? Anyone? How does Google Maps earn money?
Sir, basically by advertising the hotels and some of the businesses firms, sir.
Okay. Any other way?
When like hotels, Google have recommendations in their section too. So the companies or the places which want recommendation, so they pay basically for them.
Okay, awesome. So I think majority of the answers that everyone poured in over here is more or less correct. But the surprising thing that most of you won't know is that this particular question that I asked you was actually one of the questions that was used by a lot of tech firms in their hiring process, right? So what I'm trying to hint with this example is that not just coding knowledge, but overall technical soundness or overall awareness about what's happening in the tech space is something that will just escalate your level or escalate your interview preparedness to a different level. Now, again, this is all the tech part of it, right? So another very important caveat that you guys should keep in mind is that when you are answering questions regarding tech, right, or when you are thrown technical questions and you are expected to answer those questions, what I would essentially, recommend, or what I would essentially, advise you is that never just answer the question in like, say if someone asks you that which is the best search algorithm, like is it breadth first search, is it depth first search, or whatever, like blah blah blah. So never just end your question saying that it's breadth first search or depth first search. You always have to give an example as to why is it breadth first search, why is it depth first search, and what are the benefits of a BFS over a DFS. Like, why BFS, why not DFS, right? In which situations is BFS better, in which situations is DFS better, right? So essentially what I'm trying to say over here is that whenever you guys are sitting for the interviews, one very important thing is how you're crafting your answer. Because again, this is a very theoretical question, that which is better, BFS or DFS. The more meaty part is why BFS is better or why DFS is better, or what is something that is being done by BFS which a DFS can't do, right? So mostly what people like, the point that I'm trying to drive over here is, most people don't just want you to mug up stuff from your textbook and go there and vomit it, right? Like that is something that any Tom, Dick and Harry can do. What people are more interested in are the insights that you can drive, are the stories that you can build, are the logical connotations that you can put forward, right? So essentially what I'm trying to say over here is that storytelling capacity, that storytelling capability, that what should I say, bringing in the finer examples, it is what differentiates a normal candidate from a great candidate. So over here, I would like to take a pause for 2 minutes and understand if you guys have any doubts, anything, any questions.
No, sir.
Anyone else, guys? Any questions, any doubts? Okay, fair. So now coming to the I think, Sai, so the question on how Google Maps earns, right? I think what most people said was correct. They lend their API to, say, Ola, Uber. There are a lot of brands or hotels, who provide brand partnerships by getting themselves more visible on Google Maps. So stuff like this or ways like this are, different techniques through which Google Maps earn money. But again, this is a question that I would want you guys to basically think of, you guys to basically analyze what are the ways through which Google Maps earn money. Like, this is just one example for you, to think of, right? Now, okay, what would be the answer to why are you choosing this field tech? Okay, so I think your question, basically what I understand from your question is that if you are asked in an interview that why did you choose tech over anything else, what could be the right answer to that? Now the question that you asked, Divyanshu, is a very subjective question, right? The answer to this can be very different from my perspective, can be very different from someone else's perspective, right? Like, this is a very subjective question. Now the right way essentially to answer this question is, you have to provide examples from your life, you have to provide examples from your story to tell them that why tech, like what was the story or what were the factors that led me to choose a tech based profession. right? Now, just to give you an example of what I said, like when I was asked this question in Uber, right? So what I told them was my entire journey, coming from school to joining BCA in college, to basically dabbling in data science, did a lot of data science projects. I published 7 research papers in data science and analytics, did a lot of internships as well. And through all these experiences, what I realized is that I loved to use technology to get insights out of numbers. If you gave me a dump of numbers, I can use technology, I can use coding to come up with insights that will help the business to generate more money. So my logic of going into tech, or my logic of getting into tech, was to harness technology to gather insight from numbers that can help business grow. So it's more about your rationale, more about your story, and how it's going to help the business in the long run, right? Second, so Yaks asked a question, why should we hire you, right? Like, this is a common question that all of us get to hear a lot. So basically, through this question, right, what these people want to understand, or what these people want to basically gauge, is that what value addition are you doing to the organization. Like, you joining the organization, how is it going to be beneficial for the org, right? Because they are interviewing a lot of people. What is in it that you have, or what is in it that you are bringing to the table, that is basically going to be of value add to the org? Like, what speciality do you have? Like, what is it? So it could be as simple as that, you probably were heading 3-4 student committees or 3-4 student bodies in college, which is why you have a lot of managerial skills within you. So your managerial skill sets, along with your knowledge in tech or knowledge about tech, could be something that could be of a lot of value add to the entire organization. So that could be your USP, or that could be your speciality, if I may say so, that you are getting onto the table. And that is something that not many people have. So you are a good enough candidate, or you are a competitive enough candidate for the organization to hire you. So essentially, I think that is one way of answering this question, right? I hope that answers your question, Yaks. If you don't know the answer, then what to say at that moment? Okay, this is also something that commonly occurs with a lot of us, that we are thrown with a question, to the answer to whom, or the answer to which we don't really know at that very moment, right? So there are 2-3 ways of looking at this, or there are 2-3 ways of answering this question, right? So the first thing essentially that one might want to do over here is take 5 minutes time from the interviewer. So you can outright tell the interviewer that, hey, this is, can I just take 2 minutes to wrap my heads around it? Like, can I just take 2 minutes to think more on this and get back to you? That could be one way. And in those 2 minutes, you try to figure out a solution. You try to figure out what could be the best possible answer to this. I'm not saying what is the right answer to this, but what could be the best possible answer to this. That's looking at it from one angle. Second, basically, could be that you are being upfront and honest with, the interviewer, and you are like, sir or ma'am, I don't know the answer to this question. Having said that, I am extremely sorry for, not knowing what the right answer is or what the correct answer is. I would rather, want to learn more from you in terms of, what the correct answer is, or how should I go about answering this question. More or less, they will, tell you that, hey, this is how you answer this question. This could be a possible way of answering this question. So I think these are the 2-3 ways that you can probably look at in terms of answering, or in terms of tackling this situation when you are presented with a question that you don't really know about. I hope that answers your question, Vishal. So Shiva Prasad MB is asking, sir, what to do or how to continue when you're stuck, like while answering? Shiva, can you please repeat your question? Like, if you could unmute yourself and tell me the question because I didn't understand this.
So fine, sir. The question was same as before, like the previous answer.
Okay, fair enough. Great. So guys, any other doubts, any other queries before I move on? A yes, no would be super helpful.
No, sir.
Okay, great. So guys, okay, so Vishal has one more question. Sir, if we have certain hobbies, do we need to have certificate for that? Vishal, honestly, the reason why they are called hobbies is because you're doing it in a very non-professional way, right? So when you're talking of, say you one of your hobbies is reading, right? Like you like reading. How can you justify that to the interviewer? You can't have a certificate which shows you that you like reading. So essentially, I don't think you require certificates to justify your hobbies. Okay, so Tejal is asking, can I ask the interviewer for the answer if I don't know it after telling that I don't know the answer? Yeah, Tejal, that is exactly what I mentioned over here, right? Like there might be situations wherein you don't know the answer. You plain simple don't know what's the answer to this question, right? So the best way to go about it is that you directly tell the interviewer that, hey, so and so, or hey sir, hey ma'am, extremely thankful for this question, but given my limited knowledge and understanding, I don't really know what's the correct answer to this. It would be great if you could provide me some, or if you could give me some guidance on what would be the correct answer to this question, just for me to add to my knowledge bank. That's it. It's as simple as that. So Dushant is asking, sir, what type of questions are asked on projects in tech interviews? Right? Okay, that's a very interesting question, Dushant. So basically, what means over here is that whenever you are basically doing some project, or whenever you've done some project, say you've done a project on calculating the number of accidents that are happening in the country. Like I'm just being very abstract over here. You will be basically asked 2 to 3 things. A, what was the objective for you to do that project, right? Like why did you do it? What was the outcome that you wanted to gain from it? Like why? Like what was the why behind you doing that project? Two, how did you go about doing that project? Like what was the entire process? How did you collect the data? How did you make the algorithm? How did you code it, right? Like what was the entire process? What were the challenges that you might have faced, and how did you go about overcoming those challenges in a unique way? Like did you do something extremely different? Did you do something that was out of the box? Because they are looking at those aha moments, that just literally makes them wow, like I wouldn't have ever thought of solving this problem in this way. So that's the third thing. So essentially they look at these 3-4 things in terms of how you've gone about the project. They won't ask you that what variables did you use, or what search algorithm did you use, or sort algorithm that you used. They will basically try to understand the purpose, the medium, and what outcomes are you trying to draw of it. So that is their way of analyzing whether you've done good work or whether you've not done good work in the project. I hope that answers your question. If we mention some skills in our CV, is it necessary? Mitesh, not necessary. Like if you mentioned communication as one of your skills on your CV, you need not give a certificate to back that up. Like communications is a skill that many have, but you don't require a certification per se to back that up, like communications per se, right? So that's not required. What level? Again, Mitesh, I don't see the use case of giving certificates to even support a skill like tech, right? What level should I be in a skill in order to add it to my resume? Abhay, I think you can add anything as in terms of skills to your resume till the time you are able to justify that in the interview. So if you are saying that I am at the intermediate stage, right, in terms of say MS Excel. So when I'm writing that, I should be sure that if I'm getting any questions with regards to pivot table, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP. I am answering that question. So the point that I'm trying to drive over here is that whenever you're putting some skills on your CV, it has to be such that, I mean, you should be able to answer questions with regards to your skills at the level that you've mentioned. If the level that you've mentioned is X, you should be able to drive that interview at that X level with regards to your skills, right? So that's the long story short. Can we write a non-core skill in our CV for a core company? Yeah, you can. It just adds those brownie points, or it just adds that value to the overall resume. Nowadays, many MNCs are adopting to say no to sir word. I think Krishna, it's more to do with the entire setup, right? Like there is, I mean, it's nothing like this is right or this is wrong. It's more about the tonality and more about how, you know, the entire interview is shaping up. Like if basically the interviewer is like, please don't use sir or ma'am, you don't use sir or ma'am. It ends there, right? Best case practice is that you don't use sir or ma'am, because nowadays everyone you know is basically following the first name approach. So yeah, how to overcome shyness, how to get that confidence to present in front of audience. Sunil, I think this is something that I had covered in the very beginning of the session, you know, where I had spoken about debate societies, where I had spoken about you know, clubs like Toastmasters, etc., etc., that provide you the opportunity to put yourself or put your public speaking out there in the market, right? So that is one thing that you can look at. Another way to basically do away with your shyness is in terms of talking. Like you can make a group of friends sit and you can talk in front of them. Like you can start practicing like that. You can talk in front of the mirror. You can make your family members sit and talk in front of them. So that is one way. Another way that I think is extremely important is to use your hands. You should use your hands as much as possible to basically convey your point. That just adds a layer of confidence, right? Pooja, can experience in quizzes also be included in CV? Pooja, I think that is completely irrelevant. I don't think that should be added. Excuse me, unless and until you don't have any other points to add, you might want to add it. But if you take my opinion, I don't think it's worthwhile adding that. Is it compulsory to add projects in our resume? Sohini, if you have other important things like internships or you know, work experience or you know, research papers or whatever, then you can avoid adding projects. But if you don't have anything, then how have you used it in a real world scenario? Vinay sir, how to impress the interviewer before starting the actual Q&A with him or her? Vinay, there is no such way. Honestly, you can't, you know, dress better or you know, comb your hair better or whatever to impress the interviewer, because at the end of the day, he or she will only be interested in how good you are and what are you, or what skill sets are you getting into the organization. So I don't think dressing better or appearing better or whatever will, you know, help you with this. I hope that answers your question, Vinay. Harsh, what are the key points that should be taken care while writing objective in CV? So Harsh, I think just to give you guys a broad structure, right? The CV has 3-4 important headers. One is your education. One is your professional experience. Now, within professional experience, you can talk about your work experience. You can talk about any internships that you have done. You can talk about any life projects that you've done. Third is projects. Like if you've done any projects, if you've done projects on your own, etc., etc. Fourth is basically position of responsibility, that you were the president of your IEEE club in college or whatever. Then is ECA, which is extra co-curriculars activity. In that you can talk about competitive coding, any competitions you won, any science fairs you won, whatever. And the last one is the hobbies. So this is how the entire CV is broken down or distributed, and different things fit different in different places. So I hope that answers your question. What are the most desirable skills, qualities that are looked up by the hiring authorities? Hemangi, great question, Hemangi. But again, this is super subjective, right? Like a Google might want something very different from what an Amazon might be wanting. So ideally, it becomes very important for you to go through the JD extremely well and make your CV and add such pointers or add such caveats or add such nuances on your CV that just makes it can be added in the experience section, and does it affect resume shortlisting. So I think when you are applying for your first internship, right, what becomes very essential is, in terms of tech, what coding languages you know. Using those coding languages, have you made any projects or not? Have you done any competitive coding or not? So essentially these 3-4 things become extremely important for you to land your first internship. And then once you've gotten your first internship, it just builds from that. I hope that answers the question, Prabhu. Vishal, if we have some gap here and we are appearing for the interview, so see, I think, Vishal, the best way to, answer this question is to be truthful. You let them know that why your gap year was there, what was the reason or what was the rationale behind you taking that gap year, and at the end of the day, how did you benefit out of it? People take gap years because of health, people take gap years because of mental reasons, people take gap years just to take a break, and it's fine. Like, I don't see any harm in taking gap years. But what should be very important is that when you're sitting for the interview, right, you let them know why the gap year happened, what was the reason for the gap year to happen, and what did you do in the gap year that helped you a lot. Harsh, we should write our project title only, or we should explain our project at some. I think you should write the title and explain the projects. I mean, your title could be anything. How am I to make sense on, what is your project about, right? So essentially, you need to write your title as well as write, to explain people what exactly your entire project was about, right? Some key points while writing career objective. Again, Harsh, I think this is a very subjective question, but when you're writing career objective, it has to tie up with what you want to do in the long term, like where you want to be. So it has to tie up to that. Our 1 year gap in between, no, I don't think, Subhajit, like I already mentioned, right? It all depends on how you are justifying it. Like, what did you do? What was the reason for you to do that? Till the time, if you are truthful enough, till the time, you are answering it fairly well, it shouldn't be a problem, right? If we mention about, no, you won't be asked for medical proof. Sir, can you briefly explain? Shanmuga, I don't think there is any difference per se between CV and resume. Given the time that I have worked in the industry, these are just interchangeable words for the same thing. So I don't think there is any difference per se between the two, right? I am from XTC but want to pursue job in I. Okay, related to company. Harsh, it could work both ways. The career objectives could be very generalized as well. The career objectives could be made on the CV as well. So that's a conscious decision, or that's a conscious choice that you will have to make. So I think just 1 second, guys. Anyone from MyWays over here? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think we've reached the fag end, right? So I just wanted to understand, if you had anything to share, and we can take a last few couple of questions and, probably close the
Yeah,
session.
yeah. We can take more couple of questions. No issues.
Okay, fair.
Thank you.
So resume should be brief or should we write in detail? Again, whatever you do, however much detail or you want to write in, I have already told you what all headers should be there in the resume, and the resume should not go beyond a page. Resume has to be within one page, right? So that is extremely important. I am from electronics but want to pursue job in IT field and don't have any. uh, Balaji, you will have to do some projects, some internship, some skill building certifications, etc., in the software domain, right? Because if I am to hire you, I need some assurance that you know this. Like, without having that assurance, without knowing that you are good with this, how can I hire you? So you will have to show some relevant skills, some projects, some certificates, for me to be certain of the fact that you know this. Abhay, is it good to do a little research about the hiring team and their hobby? Doesn't really add too much value, just gives you more talking points. But I wouldn't really say that that's something of a compulsion. Yes, that surely helps you in cracking better conversations for sure, but not something that I will say that you have to do it. So that's something that's fine. Like, shouldn't be a problem, right? Um, So, Sai, sir, the content you wanted to deliver is completed, or QA is interpreting. Sai, I didn't understand this question.
He's asking like, is the session over? This is the last part of the session, like Q&A session, or
Yeah,
is this
this is like the fag end, because I wanted to share stuff, but that got shared through the questions, right? Like, I mean, the questions that were asked were more or less covering, what I wanted to share. So if again, like, people have more questions, happy to take it, or else, you can close the session as well, like whatever the case be.
is this session record? I think this session is recorded. So is this going to be shared with us recording?
I think the MyWays team can help over here. Anyone from MyWays? Hello.
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yes. So the students are asking, will the recordings be shared with them?
Yes, we will share recording soon with them on our platform.
Sure. So I think that answers your question. And yeah, I think we've almost reached 4:15, right? So I think you can, give your concluding remarks and we can call it a close.
Sure. So first of all, I would like to thank you for having such a great session and interacting with our students. And we are very happy that you actually take, it's an honor for us that you take the session today, despite of all the issues and all. So we are very, very thankful that you come, and like, it's all our honor to host you today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I would like, can all of us in our audience, can we show some thanks and applauding to him to conduct so much good, like helping us in so much better way. Like, I just want some good reactions for him today. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, guys. Good talking
Thank
to
you, sir.
No,
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I'm seeing very lot of reactions in the chat.
Thank you very much, sir.
Also. Yes. So now I would like to tell you, we have one surprise for you also. Like, all of our audience which have attended it today, we have a surprise for them also. And what is that? You can also you can also have your first technical interview. So are you excited to know about how can you actually have your first interview? So just let me know in the chat section that if you are interested to that, you can also crack your first interview or have your first technical interview. Yes. So we have one form in the chat section. So as I have told you in the earlier that we have one of the like extended versions, that My Gurukul program. So in My Gurukul program, we actually hire the top tech talent for our hiring partners, and and this is totally free test for all of our tech students. So we conduct this test free of cost for all our students and help them to get placed in our hiring partners. We have a lot of hiring partners and good startups like Paytm, Fleetex, and many MNCs. So the process of this My Gurukul initiative is just like that. In this, first of all, we have to give a test, and once you clear that test, you have to give the internal interviews. And once you complete that internal interview, you have to give the external interview. And after these three tests, you just can actually crack the job. So this is the total hiring process for My Gurukul initiative. And now we have that. You are ready for it now. Great. So I'm receiving a lot of messages in that. Like, I'm very happy for that. So there's a form in the chat section. Please first of all fill that form if you want it, to be a part of this program in MyWays. So basically, we are dedicated to make you an experienced fresher, and we will support you in your career trajectory in the whole. So please fill out this form and just let me know in case of any query is there. And let us please fill out form. And also there's a one feedback form. Am I audible to everyone? Yes. So you can also follow us on our social media channels to be regularly updated on these sessions also. And we currently have many openings for our hiring partners. So you can just fill this feedback, this form which is in the chat section, and we will reach out to you soon with the test links, and you can directly get your technical interview. And one more thing I have for you, all of you, is that next weekend, that is Saturday, 3rd September, we are also having the follow-up session and the connected session with this, which is like CV building and LinkedIn building. So you can attend all that also. The link to register for that is in chat section. So it's a 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 3rd September. I hope I will see all of you again today, like that day. And any other questions, so just let us know. And if you have any queries, just let me know in the chat section. And if you want me to speak about My Gurukul or any initiative, you can just let me know in the chat section. And also you can connect if you want mentorship and want a basic like you want a content on how to a technical interview, you can always connect our mentor on his LinkedIn, so that he can directly also you can be in his network. Also, please, if you feel that this masterclass actually brings a value to your life and actually solves your purpose, you can just take a screenshot of the masterclass, tag MyWays, tag the speaker, and just let us know your views on Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you want. So please, we will happy to see your reviews on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and please do not forget to tag MyWays, tag our mentor. His LinkedIn link is in the chat section. Please, we are very happy to see your reviews. Any other questions, or should we wrap up for today? Just let me know in the chat section if anyone has any questions, or can we wrap up? Abhay, it's for everyone. Like, if you are good in coding, you can just attempt the test. So I think we can wrap up the session. So recordings and this interest form will be sent to you in case you missed it. You cannot fill it right now. In the case, we will send you through the email also. Please keep check on the email and please put student.connect@myways.ai in your primary inbox, not in spam, so that you don't miss any career update, you don't miss any hiring updates, and you don't miss any masterclass updates. So I'm very happy that if you move our student.connect@myways.ai in your primary inbox, so that you don't miss out any Zoom session link, any masterclass link, or any new hiring test. Who knows that you can grab your next offer from it. So we are concluding this session, and thank you so much again, sir, for having time for us on the weekend. And please, all of you, do not forget to add mention him on the LinkedIn and let us know that how do you feel about the session. So we are thank you so much. Have a nice day and have a lovely weekend, guys. Thank you so much.